Welcome back, everybody. Quick Moving Tuesday show rolls on. Our thanks to Dave Richmond for being in studio. That's always great stuff there. Get us ready for the basketball season. They're already start practice. We're going to be talking hoops before we know it. Get ready for another busy weekend of college football. Dragons are going back on the road this weekend to take on Minnesota Duluth, which means we're joined by our guy Steve Laqua. He joins us each and every Tuesday at 10:30. Did you make somebody mad at the NSIC office? You went to Duluth last year. Now you got to go back? What's that about?
I think they've only been to our place once in about the last 5 years, the way the schedule has just changed around. And, we've lost some teams out of the league.
Right.
We've added some teams. So we've had to kind of constantly start this schedule, 2-year cycle over and over. Well, and it seems like every 2-year cycle, we either don't play or we're playing there. So is what it is. It's all right.
Give us the lowdown. We were just visiting off air. Tough loss on Saturday in a game where you got dominated in the first half. Describe what changed at halftime and getting the momentum back where you had a chance to potentially win the game Saturday.
Well, I think, obviously we did not get off to a very good start in any of the phases of the game. And I think when you get down early, things aren't clicking. You're not playing well early, especially through the first quarter into the second quarter. You can kind of feel this frustration, this negativity. I think everybody's been there in life, whether it's sports or not. And there's this kind of this vortex of negativity that you can get caught in.
Mm-hmm.
And the equivalent that I talked to our team about yesterday, for lack of a better example, it's like peeing in the pool. Yeah, that might not affect you, but it's affecting everybody around. And so everybody's frustration collectively is causing some problems. And so we needed to make sure that we got that cleaned up. I don't know that we did a good job in the first half. I certainly did not become a good pool cleaner and get in there. Now at halftime, I think we got reset. We were able to talk about some of the themes of the week. One of them was, having the attitude of like your pet dog. When you come home every day, no matter how your day was, no matter what, you come through the same door, same time, that dog is excited to see you. And so we need to treat the second half like that, every series, every play. Let's not care how the first half went. And I think our guys did a great job of bouncing back, kind of resetting there. And so I think those are some good things culture-wise, leadership-wise that we had. Guys came out. We played a resilient second half, battled our way back into the game. We get ourselves in position. We get a stop with under 4 minutes to go. And that's where I made a critical error. I said, one of my jobs as a football coach is to coach a human spirit. Hey, at halftime, I think I did a good job of that. Got a reset, got us going. One of my other jobs is to stack the deck in our favor and make good decisions that give us the best chance of winning. And so earlier in the game, we went for 2. Hey, it didn't work out, but had it done it, we increased our percentages of winning before we get to overtime, if we get to that point. Yep. Well, I made a call to go for the block punt. I felt like we had the look we wanted. We had the look all week. We felt like we've got the guys in position. We can change the game with the punt block. We got to that point, made that call. We get a running into the punter. Hats off to our guys. We called to go for the block. They went all in. The dogs went after it. They didn't kind of halfway out and say, oh, they went in, and you know what? We got called. It was a roughing the punter instead of running into. Hey, that is what it is. In hindsight, do I look back and go, hey, that maybe didn't stack the deck in our favor? Should have pulled off with that call. Should have said, hey, let's just take our chances. We haven't been great offensively, but we'll take the ball in our hand. 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go with a shot to win. Yeah, probably. And so as a coach, I think every leader's got scars. Those are scars that you have. Some heal faster than others. This one would take a while. At the end of the day, don't get that luxury to let it take a while to heal. Hey, we're on to Duluth. We got to go. I got to be up. I got to make sure that I've let it go and that our team can be our best going forward for this week's game.
Was there something, Steve, that Wayne was doing defensively that really put a crink in things offensively? So, I guess I've asked going forward, is that something, everything's copycat, that they're going to look at, Duluth's going to say, okay, well, that really affected them offensively. We've got to do that.
Well, they definitely, 2 years in a row, they've seemed to get us with the same type recipe a little bit, using our rules against us a little bit. We were off and didn't play great. So you add that into, now they did a great job. Their linebackers are some of the best that are in the league. They cover a lot of ground. They get depth. They go side to side. And so they were able to get pressure with 3 guys, cover a lot of the intermediate space with linebackers, and then layer 4 defensive backs over top. And so it really shrunk windows, never gave us easy throws to get into a rhythm. Now, we didn't play very well either. There's some things that we could have done better, that could a couple easy things that had we got or taken, you get into a little bit of rhythm. If you get into a rhythm, then it moves them out of their plan. But if you're not affecting their plan, they're going to stay in it until you make them change it. And we didn't do anything that really made that happen. And so, we're definitely aware of it. We've got to be better. There's some things we've looked at and talked about that, you know what, we're going to have ready in the future.
When you meet with the guys after the game, knowing you were just talking about trying to go for the block punt and didn't get it, how is that something you say right out? Hey guys, I didn't coach the best there and didn't give us an opportunity. How do you address the guys? I guess what I'm asking afterwards.
That's exactly what I said. I said to them, at the end of the day, there's some things that we've got to play better. I'm really proud of the resilience. I'm proud of the things that we talk about, the non-football things, how great they were. I say, you know what? I made a critical decision that was not the best decision for our team, and that's on me. And I did. I thanked the guys that were on the pump block team to go all in. They could have went like, what is coach talking about? What an idiot. We're not going to go for that. And but they were asked to do that. They felt like I'm putting them in the best position to make that play, and they went all in on it. And so you got to appreciate guys that'll do that, knowing that, hey, from the outside world, they're maybe getting looked at going, geez, why did you run into the punter? Why did you do it? Well, you know what? That was my job. My job was to go all in on the punt. I went all in. Hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's not very many punt blocks you get where you don't hit the punter. And so had we got a hand on the ball, no one probably cares, and everything's great. But hats off to our guys for having that. You know, a senior, Mikhail Pearson, has been one of our best punt block guys over the course of the last 4 years. You know what? He took a good rip at it. Just didn't work out. All right,
tell us about Duluth, and it's the same old, same old. They're unbeaten. They're highly ranked. I have to think for the guys that were on the field last year, they'd love to see you guys after what happened at the end of the game last year.
Well, I'm pretty sure they would have this game circled. It's not a game that we're sneaking up on them or, you know, whatever. They know that game didn't go very well. It was a walk-off win. It was an exciting win for us and for our program. And I think anytime you have a celebration like that on your field, it doesn't sit well. And so certainly there's going to be a sour taste still in their mouth. They're going to be a highly motivated team. They've been a buzzsaw so far this season going through teams, and you know, they definitely want to be able to return the favor. And so our guys know that we're walking into a really difficult situation, but that's what college football is. That's what it is. That's the situation we're in. Let's go make things happen. And you know, last year we came off a loss to Wayne and went to Duluth, you know, picking ourselves off the mat and found a way to win. And so we got to do the same recipe and figure out how to do it again this year.
You look at, I know there are no moral victories for you in your program. The last couple of games before that, you lost by 5, you lost by 8. You've been right with them. And to get that win, what did that signify for your team last year? And then you can address that. I'm sure you have. Say, guys, we have the confidence. We went up there and did it last year.
Yeah, there's something to say about you're close. Yeah, but we're not there. You're close. Hey, and okay, so it can happen. It's like the Roger Bannister in the 4-minute mile. Nobody can do that. And then as soon as he does it, then you feel like you can. And so I think there is a little bit of a belief of that, very similar to the 4-minute mile of, okay, we've done it. Now let's see, can we continue to do it? And just because you do it once doesn't mean you're going to continue to do it, but hey, it can be done.
Did I read this correctly? The Gage Florence is already the all-time record holder for receptions now after what he did on Saturday?
He, I believe, is the all-time record holder for the conference. He's that record. I don't follow that stuff closely, but I think he's 2 all-time in Division II with the chance to be able to set the all-time record. We'll see how the season goes. He's been a tremendous competitor, gritty player. He works so hard. You look at what he does. We've put him in the backfield this year. We've motioned him out of there. The amount of miles that kid runs through the course of a game is crazy. And he never quits. He's the ultimate competitor and team guy. And so hard work is what's got him to that point with a lot of great teammates. And so hopefully he can just continue to keep putting good games together, great days.
Is that though a recruiting story? Like, yeah, we think he can be good, but he totally blew away anything we thought once he got on the field.
I'm not sure if this the whole story actually makes me probably seems a lot dumber than I seem, but our take on him was we thought he could play both offensively and defensively. Okay. We felt like he would have a better career playing defense, and so we kind of gave him the option. We had different spots available. To be honest, we had a better scholarship available at DB. We said, hey, it's what it is. We have a smaller scholarship available at wide receiver. Is kind of in your court. And lucky for the Dragons, he decided he wanted to be a wide receiver, and it worked out. And so now maybe if he would have been a DB, he'd be that much better. I don't know. We'll leave that there, but I think probably unlikely that he would be at the place that he is right now as a wideout. So hats off. He believed in himself and has worked harder than anybody that I've been around in tons of years of coaching. It's been awesome.
By the way, I neglected this until I saw the story in the forum a couple weeks ago that Shanley is rolling again. No surprise there. But last year they had their first losing record since 2008, which I believe was your second year at Shanley. I hope you gave Mattern a hard time about that because they all had winning seasons until that in 2023 or last year.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where you're going with that. I thought you're like, well, let's just put your name on it. But the last time they've been this bad is when you coached them. So, hey, maybe you shouldn't have been coaching them. So, yeah, there's, there's part of that. That is they're battling, right? They're a smaller school. They got to try and figure out how to battle. They've done a phenomenal job over years. And hats off to those guys. It's not going to work out every year, but they're stacking the deck in their favor, being better than they probably should be, outperforming resources.
My point was, though, when you did that in 2008, you won, I think, 2 games or 3 games, and then the next year you won the state championship. Like, what was it? Like, obviously players better. What was it that just clicked for you that following year to go from the bottom to the absolute top?
Well, a little bit was the change in class, right? Let's be straight up about that. Playing in a class level is different. We had a good group of seniors. I mean, we had an NFL player. Nobody maybe knew it at the time. We had a couple Division II football players. Actually, we had about four of those. A couple Division I guys, like in the waiting. So it was a very talented group that bought in, that committed. Now, there wasn't really a belief because there'd never been winning. So I remember, sitting the seniors down when we were going to start the playoffs, and they were just shocked we made the playoffs. I'm like, well, we got to be thinking a little bit bigger than this here. Like we can actually do something. And, honestly, I remember it, but we went out to Dickinson Trinity. We got a great stop right before halftime, which would have been us. But we got the stop, and then Josh Rodemaker made a couple of phenomenal plays in the second half. But it was a game that we probably shouldn't have won. Honestly, you remember some of these things.
Yeah.
We went to 13 personnel in the second half. They didn't really have an answer for that, and we were able to move the football and get ourselves back in the game. So sometimes better to be lucky than good.
Is that when you think about those kind of wins and how they like in relation to what you did in Duluth last year? Those are the ones that stay with you the longest. Like, man, that was how do we win that game?
There's definitely some that stand out for sure, and the one in Duluth was, again, going for 2. It's a walk-off. You're going to win or lose. Well, was in the same situation of that in the state championship game. That you make the call, you take the headset off, and then in the next 30 seconds, you're going to be really happy or really sad, and you don't know how it's going to go. And it's a surreal feeling for about 30 seconds there. I think last year was a growth point for me. I took my headset off. Guys, I love them, and I was okay with however it turned out. I don't know if I was in the state championship game back then. I was like, you know what? I got a little perspective. These guys did everything we asked. They battled, they whatever. I'm not going to be defined, and I'm not going to view these guys any differently by how they turn out in this last play. And so, you know what? Hopefully we're all growing and getting better and seeing the big picture of what ultimately we're trying to do out there for not just now, but for the rest of life.
It's great to see you, bud. Thanks as always for the time. Good luck on Saturday. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
There you go. Steve Laqua joins us each and every Tuesday at 10:30. Dragons and Duluth. MSU M1 on that walk-off last year. We'll see what happens coming up on Saturday. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll wrap things up. Get you ready. We got a great Sports Tuesday on tap. We'll get you ready for that when Hot Mike wraps on this Tuesday morning after this.